Hey, it's Spence from LaunchFlows.com. Really super busy sales day. Love that you guys are interested in the product. And I just released this new video showing how to make a custom multi-step checkout with discount upsell. Had a question immediately come in from Brian that said, really something I wanted to share. What are the ways that you can use the LaunchFlows capability to modify default WooCommerce products so that you could sell them with various means, like direct to checkout link, or you could use them with the widgets and so forth. There's more than three, but three key ways to sell in a super easy, lightweight method. LaunchFlows allow you to modify the core product without adding all kinds of extra load like the other page and sales builders do. So here's how. Number one, the direct to checkout link. This is the easiest and most powerful way. When you set up any product, and let's go to main product number one here, you will get a link in the upper right corner of the page. This is the thing that will send this product with whatever DNA you've programmed into it to the checkout of your choice. And you program the DNA by choosing what type of product it is, simple, subscription, variable, whatever. Of course, giving it your price. And all the sales and other add-ons for WooCommerce act normal. Then go to LaunchFlows and you simply say, where should you send the person after they actually add it to the cart? Where should they go after they've checked out with the product? Then you can set some of these other fun options. For example, we can actually, as I'll talk about in a second, make this product into its own sales page. But hold on, just by setting the basics of where it should go after you add it to the cart, where it should go after you buy it, now the DNA is programmed. So if we take this direct checkout link, we can either put this on our own sales page in a button, in a Facebook ad, an Instagram ad. We can put it into any kind of email, and the link will do what we need it to do to send that product across the internet into our custom checkout, or in this case, a standard checkout, enhanced with some LaunchFlows features, ready to buy. Super easy, super powerful. Just add the link to any button. You're done. Second way, we just were talking about that. Use the product ID with any of our widgets or shortcodes. Upsell, downsell, order bump works the same way, but it gives you some extra capability. When we look at the product, we can go to the right-hand side of the URL and get the ID number of the product. That's one way to do it. We can also look in the URL here and see the number, or we can go over and look at all the products. And in the archive of all products is the actual ID when you roll the mouse over. So 48368. Now we're going to create a new page and we're just going to drop in either the shortcode or we'll drop in the element or widget or any page builder you want. So let's just say custom upsell page with product. Here, if I use the LaunchFlows shortcode, which works just fine, I could put the LF bump in and I put the ID. Now, this works really great in the same page as a checkout. How do I make a checkout page? Couldn't be easier. Just choose the page attribute drop down for either LaunchFlows Canvas, which has no header or footer, or Full Width, which has the theme or underlying page builder header or footer. Now that you've got that, we can also change the button text. So instead of place order, say, buy it now. We publish, couldn't be easier. We're done. I've just created a custom checkout page, albeit without the page builder yet. I've added an order bump to the top. Watch what it looks like. Here we can send somebody to this custom URL with the product or products we want to offer. Multiple order bumps, or we can put a variable product that has A, B, or C. And now when they check the box or the radio button, it throws that product into itself. Ta-da! And you can do this with more than one product. So this works really great. I'm going to modify this variable product by choosing something else. We can take a variable product that we create with LaunchFlows and WooCommerce. And I think I've got one here. Here's, let's do one from scratch. Why not? So we'll say variable product, and it could be subscription or it could be regular, right? It doesn't have to be just a simple one-time buy. It could be, installment payments, or it could be multiple, once a month. It's virtual. And now what we'll do is give it some attributes. We'll say, I don't know, size or something. Typically what you're going to do is use this with like term. You'll say like term, monthly, semi-annual, annually, right? But in this case, I'll just use small, medium, large. We're going to say available on the product page. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Got to choose variable product, not simple product. Got ahead of myself. So let's redo that. Sorry. We got size. We're going to use this for variations. So now we got 3 variations, each with their own product ID number. This is why LaunchFlows is so cool. Watch this. I'm going to use the Elementor widget. After I'm going to add these variations. I'm going to put each of those ID numbers into its own choice. And in doing so, I'll have radio buttons. So watch what happens here. So see how I can choose, by the way, I probably need to, but like put price, right? I need $25 for the small, and maybe the medium is, $35 or $30, and the large is maybe $40, or they could be the same price, doesn't matter. And it's probably a good idea, although I won't waste a lot of time, you can put in the images for these, which would make it sexier. But let's right now just concentrate on the mechanics. So now I have 3 unique IDs of one product, right? What I want to do is set up the LaunchFlows option to make it that it's either of these choices, but not all of them. So I go to LaunchFlows and I say only one variation. That way somebody could choose this or that or the other. They can't choose with this a small and a large. Now you can do that if you want, but this is the way to make this simple. Now that I've got that done, I'm just going to take those numbers, and from the variations, those numbers are 48399 and then the 2 above it. So I'm going to go back to my page. Now, again, I can do this with the widgets or the shortcodes, but I'm going to do this one with Elementor because it's super easy. Even without modifying the rest of the checkout, I'm just at the top of the page going to use the LaunchFlows widgets so you can see how easy it is if you use Elementor free in whatever layout you're using. So I'm going to put it at the top and I'm going to put it in a full width, and I'm going to add the LaunchFlows order bump widget. And I'm going to start out with the first product, which would be super cool if I had the image because it'll show. So maybe I'll add that in a second. But watch what I do. I'm just going to duplicate this a second time and a third time. And I'll just change the ID numbers of each one. So remember it was 483400. And then the third one is 401. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to choose with the widget to use a different checkbox style. I'm going to use circle because that's more indicative of what a radio button would be. Checkbox is sort of like you can do this and other things. Okay, now let's take a look at our checkout page, and then I'll add in the images at the end. If I refresh the page, watch what I have now at the top. Now I'm going, let's go ahead and update this. And one of the things you want to make sure you do too is make sure that the template is set for the checkout, right? So by moving to Elementor, I just have to make sure that I've gone back and resaved this as a checkout page. Okay, now that I've done that, let's refresh. And we will see that, oh, one more thing to do here. Sorry, got to do it. This is the wrong checkout page. Let's go to the upsell page. There we go. Okay, so just to review, what I've got now is a variable product in the top of its own custom checkout page. Now watch what happens. See, I've got the main product. I can add any of these 3 in just by clicking on the radio button, and it will add that in to what's in the cart. Now, if I want, I can swap it out. If I wanted to go back, I could, for example, change out and put in the different one, like the large one. And you'll notice that it swaps that out. So that's the second way to do it. The third way to do it is what we were talking about a moment ago, which was using the instant sales page option. That is that we want to make the product itself into its own sales page and customize it. So for that, I'm going to go back to where I was, which is, let's go to this main product. I can use just the actual components that are there now very simply by going to LaunchFlows and choosing Instant Sales Page. And let's look at what it looks like before. If I turn this off, WooCommerce puts a lot of extra fluffy stuff in there. Okay, so let's see what it looks like beforehand. I'm going to have the additional item offers and blah, blah, blah. So you see here, I've got like the breadcrumbs, and I've got the category, and I've got all this junk, right? Simply by checking this one box, even without doing any other customizing, I remove all of that junk, And now this page becomes pretty good for almost 99% of what I want to do as far as the sales page is concerned. See? Now, I can customize it in two ways. One of the things I can do is I can just say add with Elementor, and in doing so, not change the default template, but just add to it. The second way is I can actually make the whole layout from scratch using, like I would on any sales page, make my layout, change the buttons, blah, 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 blah. In this particular case, I would recommend if you do that, you go down to settings and you change from the default layout of WooCommerce to either Elementor Canvas or Elementor Full Width. Now, you don't need the LaunchFlows unless you're turning it into a checkout page, but you get essentially the same result even if you did. Now, if I did it this way, I would build the page from scratch, or I would use, one of my other existing templates. In fact, let me show you how you do that. I like to use like the happy add-ons. Here, I could choose something that looks really super sexy. In 2 seconds, I pop it in the page. And now all I got to do is swap out the image for whatever my actual product is. So here I would choose my product, and let's say it was the book. And now the Explore story, what I want to do is add, remember, that product's URL. So what I'm going to do is edit product, and I'm going to get that direct to checkout link here. And I'm simply going to put that into this button. Let me see how fast this is. Watch. I put that in as the link, and I change this to say, buy it now. Now, I can obviously change the price and add all the other information in a variety of ways, but I'm just showing you that this is how you turn a product into its own sales page. Just $100 or whatever you're selling this for. Okay, so now what I've done is I've created a sales page on the product. Let's take a look at it, where if somebody were to use this, notice the URL. It says product, main product. Click the buy it now. Boom, send it off to the checkout just like we had before, and it's ready to buy. So 3 ways, lots of varieties. And by the way, I didn't show you how to use the Upsell widget because I literally just posted that in another video. But just in case you're curious, all you need to do for that is instead of using the order bump widget, just use the Upsell widget with the product ID. So for example, if I took this 468, I oftentimes like to use the Upsell widget just to sell a product. It's just kind of a cool and sexy way to do it. So let's go back to our page here. If we were to, let's literally start over by removing these widgets. Instead of having the variation at the top of a checkout page or at a blank page, I'll just go ahead and put in the Upsell widget. So I drag that in place and I put the ID of the main product. I can adjust all the parameters. I could say where to go if it declined. Ta-da! This could be on its own page. This could be at the top of a checkout. This could be inside of a tabbed section in the checkout. The possibilities are limitless because LaunchFlows is so simple compared to CartFlows and MoveFunnels because all you need to do is just have a product or product pages, program their DNA, then put those into a checkout page, which as you saw, could be 1 or 10 or 100, and then have, if you want, a custom thank you page, all of which can be built with either the default editor, Gutenberg, Classic, page builder like Elementor, which is really great, Elementor free, Divi, Divi Builder, and so forth. So I hope this, kind of like explains. Ask me questions. Let me show you how this works because this is like the greatest tool you're ever going to have for the price it's being offered at $199, and it solves so many problems because today, in fact, there was 4 questions asked in the other group of one of the other page builders of things that were still broken because of upsells using certain gateways. And in the other page builder, they only support, they say, certain gateways. LaunchFlows works with any gateway, anything WooCommerce. And you can even modify its behavior like I've shown you by the custom checkout fields or, automation and so forth. Okay, you guys have fun. I'll see you on the next video.